Peace and love, YouTube. It's your boy SolAshur, and today I have a little bit different of a video. So I'm actually going to be showing you a guide on how to advance your character in Global Soulworker. A little different than the other Soulworker versions, but I've seen various people actually get stuck on this quest. So I figured why not make a guide. I'm going to be doing various other more complicated guides. Please bear with me. But that being said, like I said, I'm gonna get you enhancement guide by the end of the video. I did upload this earlier today. YouTube flagged my audio, so this is why it's a little bit different video. I'm gonna be actually doing a voiceover of a video I created earlier today. That way we don't get flagged by YouTube. Alright, so let's get to it. Push over to our main screen right now. Audio muted. Here you'll see me dinging level 57 because you have to be level 57 before this quest starts. Okay? Then you go to Roku Town and you're gonna have a red quest at Benjamin. Benjamin takes you to talk to Sunny, and this should be the same for every class. The names of the quests will be slightly different, but the items that you need for the quest are going to be relatively different. You're going to need to craft mixed remains of the first 3 rookie raids. So what you're actually going to have to craft is mixed debris. It says it's mixed remains in the quest log, but it actually says mixed debris when you go to Janice in the material crafting. So you're going to need Last Carnival, Junk High, Bandit Highway. Those are the 3 mixed remains or mixed debris we're going to craft. You need vacuum energy and a regular stone. And these can be obtained from any raid. So actually what we're going to do is run Last Carnival twice. And that should give us enough materials to craft those 3 items. Okay? I'm going to do a bit of a voiceover for the walkthrough of the rookie raid for those people that are actually new to Soulworker and don't understand the mechanics of Last Carnival. Not that hard, especially for me, as I used to run this like night and day, 24/7, back in the 55 pack on the old Soulworker. But I'm gonna go ahead and do a walkthrough for those people. You're gonna want to burst Edgar down as quick as possible. I'm not bursting as quick as I can in this video because Global Soulworker is having a bit of a server overload issue and some of my skills are not working. There's a lot of AoE skills that are falling through the map, and Soulworker is currently in maintenance, so hopefully they're fixing that. Once they fix that, the game should be mostly perfect. The only issues I've had has really been skill lag. Yeah, so after you clear that first room, come to this room to the left, and essentially the mechanics in this room, you're gonna want to watch out for bombs. The little clowns, the jesters, they drop bombs, and then the actual bombs, what happens here, those time bombs, they will roll from the middle of the room to a certain location in the room, and once they come to a stop, you need to shift dodge. After they come to a stop, you have about half a millisecond, or half a second, I should say, until that bomb explodes. So make sure you are dodging once you see a bomb stop. And it's typically easier if you drag the mobs to the edge of the room. Gives you a lot more room to avoid the bombs while still being able to fight. Right. I do want to make a quick note. I am in the 55 gear that you get from the quest system. I'm just opening the boxes. I'm not in any like special gear. You just get 50. You get Aerith. Basically, you get a full Aerith set at 55, and that's just what I'm in. It's just base Aerith gear. Special. Got a level like 1 level 9 soulstone. That's it. We're just running Last Carnival in normal mode. Not that difficult. Okay. But here you'll see me grouping up the mobs in my electronated bug. That's one of my main damage skills, so it isn't going fast as I wanted to, but we still get it done. The best thing you can do is keep the mobs as grouped as possible. That's why you see me dragging them to the outer edges of the room. Stay in the center of the room. You're gonna have a lot more bombs to avoid. It's gonna be a lot more difficult to clear this room. The closer you get to clearing out the mobs, I would say the easier it is to avoid the bombs. So first is very important. As you see at the bottom of my screen, I have majority passives for my Akasha cards. These are attack damage and attack speed Akashas. I have one active. Preferred you want like something with AoE like robot kick hands, just Ex Machina, but I don't have that card. Anyway, for this room, the purple fire is going to move in a clockwise motion, meaning you need to move in a clockwise motion away from the purple fire. Anywhere you see that purple area of effect, purple fire heating up the floor, you're going to want to move away from that area because it deals damage. Potentially, you know, depending on how squishy your character is, it could hurt. So you'll see me rotate the room while gathering the mobs kind of towards the center and dealing as much damage. And there's just one phase right here where the actual center of the room lights on fire, and you're going to want to go to the outer edge. After that, it's going to continue moving at a clockwise motion. Keep in mind, if you're in the air and you're above that fire, sometimes you will still take damage. Being in the air is not really going to save you. You have to move to the other edge. My Irwin mains out there, make sure you're rotating your buffs. Make sure you're keeping all of your buffs up, and typically once you see the mobs in a large group, you're gonna want to activate your ultimate. If you have candy from the event right now, you're gonna want to use that in comparison with other healable items. So I'm using 2 separate healables. That way, I'm not even using the best healables that I have, but I am using 2. That way I can make sure that I have as much health as possible, or as much regen as possible. Yeah, this is the last wave right here. This is the third wave, third boss with wave being. Obviously, he does the most damage. He runs at you a lot, but just like all the other bosses, you're gonna want to try and keep them centered. That way you can group up all the mobs, deal as much damage, deal as much burst damage as possible. Now that he's down, I'm moving on to the next part of the raid. So this is the room all the way to the right, and here you actually see me activate my awakening. And if you're new, this will be semi-helpful for you getting through this obstacle course, because once you awaken, you actually zoom through the obstacle course so fast that this fire barely even touches you. I usually like to stick to the left side of the room because that way I can avoid the AoE. Last boss, pretty simple. He has basically one move that's going to do a pretty insane amount of damage. It's a mask. The mask appears on the ground, and it does a decent amount of AoE. You're going to want to avoid that. Excuse me. You're going to want to avoid that. It does a very good amount of damage. Also, don't stand in the fire lava pools. That could potentially hurt. But just like the rest of this raid, you're going to want to try and center everything, keep it grouped, and deal as much mass AoE as you can. I don't want to focus the boss, but the reason I'm circling the boss is that way I can cleave the enemies down. That way I'm doing as much damage to every mob in the room. The more enemies that die, the more damage dealt to the less damage dealt to me. Less enemies. So now most of the enemies are gone. I can just focus on the Adness Puppet Egger. That mask right there, huge AoE, make sure you avoid it. Anytime you see his mask pop up, he's gonna do it. But the one that's in the air, I think that's when he starts. Outside of the one, also hits on. He dies pretty easily. He doesn't have too much health. And especially because we're in Arth here, which is pretty decent, I would say. Arth here is definitely pretty decent. And that's pretty much it for this portion of the raid. That was my first time carrying this casual raid on Soulworker Global. After you clear that, we're going to Janus and we're going to craft the last Carnival mixed debris, vacuum energy, and regular stone. Like I said, I'm going to encourage you to run this twice. Run it twice, back to back. That way you don't have to come back to this raid and you don't have to learn other raids. You can literally get all the vacuum energy and the regular stone you need just from running the last Carnival twice. Save yourself the trouble. Okay? So you saw me talk to the NPCs, and what it's going to do is it's going to send me to the abandoned grave after I hit the corrupted fragment that it gives you in your inventory. After you load in, you're going to talk to the shadow of yourself, or of yourself. He's going to teleport you out. Well, you need to walk to the portal and go out. And essentially what happens is you're gonna head to the next area and you're gonna have to craft that next item that you need. Alright, so after I spoke to him, they're gonna send me outside to Aaron, and then I'm gonna head to Kansas. Well, basically Aaron's in Kansas City, and after you're in Kansas City, they're gonna have you craft the mixed debris of Junkai, which you should already have those materials because, like I said, you should have just, well, you should have had enough materials from one run really, but you ran two, you definitely should have enough materials. And it's gonna send you back in the abandoned grave to talk to Morph Irwin. It's basically just rinse and repeat after this. Now I'm back in Grace, and you talk to a few NPCs in Grace. And after you finish talking to these NPCs for your orange quest in Grace, you're going to have to craft another item. What you see here is me running last Carnival for the second time, but I'm actually going to skip through this because I've already given you a complete walkthrough of how to complete last Carnival. So there's no real reason for us to sit through that second time. You should know exactly how to run this raid, everything to you. So assuming you ran last Carnival twice, just like I did, you should have all the materials that you need to continue to Janus and craft your last piece, which is your third debris, which is the debris of the bandit highway. After I craft the bandit highway debris, they're gonna have me go talk to Oru, which is in Gray City. That's why I recommend you do those last carnival raids twice in a row. That way you don't have to go back to Roco Town and run it. Talk to EO. He's gonna send us back to the abandoned grave. We hit that item in our inventory. We talk to our morph, and we are awakened, boys and girls. It's that easy when you do it correctly, right? It's that easy. So that's really all I wanted to show you. I will have more guides coming very, very soon. I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the Discord. Need help? Hope to see you in the stream. Otherwise, I will catch you guys in game. Peace and love, everybody.